there's no way I could go back to doing that job. I had a bit of a crisis of confidence, and I started to think about, well, 40 years old, what am I going to do? So my mental health really, really started to suffer, and I went to see my GP several times with it. And when I went to him the last time, he said to me, look, he said, we need to address the root cause of all this. He said, and ultimately, you're not going out, you're not mixing with people, you're not talking. He said, you're literally living your life, looking after your son, looking after your wife, carrying on. He said, but you're not making human connection. He said, you've gone from being in a job where you talk to people every day to actually talking to nobody. He said, so have you thought about going to Andy's Man Club? And I was like, no. I said, I've seen the signs, I've seen the posters. I said, but I've not really thought anything more of it. He said, well, there's a few that meet up in the area. He said, the Etihad Stadium, he said there's one there. So I said, all right. I said, Etihad. I said, I'm a big fan of Manchester City, so, I have been all my life. So that made it easier for me to go to that group. I think if it had been in somewhere like a community hall or something, I would probably just not bother going. And I relate that to when my son was born. My wife was always trying to encourage me to go to like dad groups and stuff, and I always found it. I never went to any because I always thought like, oh, I won't know what to talk about to anybody, and everyone will have already established their own groups there. And yeah, I probably suffered with confidence in going to that, but going to something that was there to support mental health and encourage men to open up and talk, and especially having a link to Manchester City, I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. I'll go and I'll see what it's all about. So I went there on just over 12 months ago now,